So hello everyone and Jambo Sana everyone. For those of you who've never met me, my name is Sujata Jaffer. I'm the managing partner of Nexia SJ Tanzania and Kenya. Our companies in both the countries, it's a full service firm. So we offer all audit, assurance, advisory, tax and consulting services. And I'm very pleased to be given this opportunity to talk about the impact of COVID-19 in Africa and the future growth prospects. So thank you so much for this opportunity. Maybe we can move to the next slide. Okay, so just a quick introduction on the impact of COVID-19 in the African continent. Basically, it has impacted greatly. As you can see, continent has entered its first recession in half a century, and the GDP is contracted by 2.1%, which is quite high. As we all know that Africa is an emerging market, and already, the impact of COVID has actually regressed it a little bit. So we are hoping that, the future outlook will help Africa to emerge and grow. The regions that were affected worst, well, obviously South Africa was the hardest hit by the pandemic, and the economic contraction was 7%. West Africa was estimated to have contracted by 1.5% in 2020. Of course, East Africa is the most resilient region, thanks to its less reliance on primary commodities and greater diversification. And the top performers in 2021 look like Djibouti is going to grow by 9.9%, Kenya 5%, followed by Tanzania 4.1%, and Rwanda 3.9%. The most affected sectors in the African region, and particularly in the East African and the Sub-Saharan regions, were tourism, health, transport, including storage, remittances, obviously the trade, agriculture, public financing, and government budgeting. These were definitely affected worst because of lockdowns. In our neighboring countries like Kenya, Uganda have had many lockdowns, and obviously lockdowns globally. So, there were no trade happening between Africa and other parts of the world. It was really restricted and very much limited. And obviously the bottlenecks caused by, the testing, the lack of vaccination, the uncertainty, and all of this has really impacted the African region and the cross-border business that went around. Particularly the tourism sector was the worst hit. And we're hoping that, the vaccination and the opening up of the rest of the world will actually help us in our future growth. Next slide, please. So the Africa's future growth prospects depend much on obviously the effective deployment of vaccines. It's very critical. The last statistics I had was that less than 2% have been vaccinated in Africa, because we all know that there was shortage initially when the vaccines were produced, and Africa was the last to receive them. Fortunately for us now, we have vaccination in the East African region, and we are hoping that by mid next year, at least majority of the East African states will be vaccinated, at least the adult population. The recovery trends obviously will be driven by resumption of tourism, like I had mentioned earlier, because we are very much dependent on tourism, which in turn affects the hospitality sector significantly, and all the businesses surrounding the tourism, the tour operators and all, they were the worst hit. So we are expecting that the opening up of the rest of the world, and particularly recently, Tanzania is now off the red list. So that will bring in tourism. Obviously, the rising commodity prices and the rollback of pandemic-related restrictions will help us in 2022 and onwards. The most exciting moment for Africa for post-COVID recovery is the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. The agreement offers opportunities for collaborative action, allowing Africans to do business with each other and strengthening Africa's resilience. So up to now, the African continent did not trade much with each other. And we are hoping that this agreement, which was signed in February 2021 by the 54 member states of the African Union, will open up the trade and cross-border business, particularly, obviously, the tariff concessions that are, offered, and the free movement of labor and transfer of knowledge and technology will open up the trade for the African continent, and it will even bring about opportunities for trade with other parts of the world, particularly Europe. The most critical and enabling factor for the AfTA will be the infrastructure. So this infrastructure will improve connections between and within countries, so goods and services can access market. This will create liberalized market for goods and services, will enable movement of capital, will facilitate investment through creation of large markets and new technology, and it will boost productivity. And this eventually the elimination of tariffs on intra-African trade will facilitate trade and growth in the market. Next slide, please. So just talking briefly about the outlook and risks in Tanzania and Zanzibar to begin with, and then I'll talk about Kenya and Uganda and other regions. So the economic outlook looks positive. We are expecting a GDP growth of 4.1% in 2021 and 5.8% in 2022 due to improved performance of the tourism sector and the reopening of trade corridors. Energy and fuel price increases are expected to persist in 2021, raising overall inflation to 3.9% in 21 and 3.4% in 22. Spending on large infrastructure projects, obviously, and the depressed revenue performance are expected to widen the fiscal deficit. And the major downside risk to the outlook includes business regulatory bottlenecks that constrain private sector activity and uncertainties regarding the pandemic. Next slide, please. So these are the sectors in which there are opportunities, both in Tanzania and Zanzibar. I'll just quickly take them through because of lack of time. So it's mining and gas, oil exploration, road construction, tourism and hospitality, and telecom. Same goes for Zanzibar and Pemba. There are a lot of opportunities that have opened up investment in the following sectors, particularly now like Zanzibar and Pemba are offering small islands which are available on long leases. Fisheries is being promoted, and Zanzibar has introduced Zanzibar Investment Promotion Authority to facilitate private sector investment. Next slide, please. So Kenya was greatly affected by COVID due to lockdowns. The expected growth in 2020 is 1.4, obviously that's past now. And the country relies on local demand, which was also subdued. The government has borrowed heavily and the public debt has really gone up. The overall outlook still looks good, particularly in 2021 and 2022. Uganda has been the most affected by the COVID-19 pandemic due to several lockdowns. Tourism and hospitality has been severely affected, and government had to borrow as revenue collections had gone down. Overall outlook looks challenging. Next slide, please. Thank you. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to take them.